This machine has a bobbin and a bobbin casing. In order to fill the bobbin, I'm going around the tension plate here in a clockwise motion, trapping the thread that comes from the cob underneath. Then I need to take my thread, clip off the end so I can thread it through the hole in the bobbin. Not the one in the middle. You're going from the middle between the two discs. There is usually a hole, and you go up, out to the top, as you can see here. Then we take our bobbin, put it on the bobbin pin, and to engage the winding, we push the bobbin to the side. This engages the mechanism to wind up your bobbin. Don't turn it the wrong way to the back. It goes to the front and it will fill your bobbin. Now that we have the bobbin wound, we will need to put it into the bobbin casing, which we will have here. We have our bobbin casing, we have our bobbin. In order to get the bobbin into the casing, we need to make sure, first of all, that our thread comes off in a clockwise rotation, as you can see here. If you have the bobbin that the thread comes off from the bottom, this is the way it needs to spin when you pull the thread. Then we take our bobbin and insert it onto the bobbin casing. So it won't fit here, but it will fit this side. We make sure when we insert it to go through the notch on the side, pull our thread up into the tension plate and into the little notch, and you will hear a little click. If you've done it correctly, the thread will hold the bobbin casing with the bobbin mid-air. Your first magic trick. So now we need to make sure that we insert the thorn that you've seen here into the notch of the race. We take our bobbin casing, lift the lever, and then we get it onto the pin, push it in, and there will be a click. If you want to get it out, the lever, pull it, and the bobbin casing comes out, but make sure it goes back in properly. Here we see that the clamp was removed from the race, which would mean that while you're sewing, the whole thing could fall out. So make sure that this is secured. To secure the race, you have these two black levers. In other machines they might have a different color. Just put them on the pins and you're done. Now the bobbin casing is in, we need to thread the machine and the needle. We have two spool stands. We put our cob or thread in. Then we go to our first guide. On this machine it's up on the top. Then you need to make sure that your presser foot is up, because that opens the tension discs which are in there, and we might actually see if they're closing here. It might be a little bit tricky, but if you look on your machine, there are two discs in there. If the presser foot is up, then the tension discs are open. If the presser foot is down, which you need to do now, then the thread is between the two tension discs. Now we go to the bottom, go up, and there is your best friend and worst enemy. Take up lever or uptake lever, depending on where you live. You go from the right to the left. Make sure that your thread is going through the hook on the top. Now we look for the next step. We go down again, and there is a guide over on the needle, and sometimes you lose your thread as well. So we have it through the needle guide, and then we will be threading the needle. In order to get our thread through the needle, we need to snip off the end. We don't want any loose fibers. So now going through, and when you have the thread through the needle, you need to pull carefully in the back, and that way you have your needle threaded and you're ready to sew. As you can see, sometimes it takes a little bit longer than you think. And if threading the needle wasn't difficult enough already, the thread looped itself around the needle. All you need to do is pull the thread down so that the little loop comes out and your thread goes through the needle to the back. Remember, we have our presser foot down, which means there's tension on the thread. What we're doing now, and this is a bit awkward, I will lower the needle in and you will see how a stitch is made. You see the thread sliding across the bobbin casing at the moment, and then the take up lever will move all the rest of the thread up. But at this point we can get our lower thread out and we have our machine ready to go. All we have to do now is close the flap, attach our sewing table, and the machine is ready for sewing. Good luck!